So welcome to week 2. Last week we learned how to draft the basic bodice block and then the full body pattern. We've done that, so congratulations on that. So this week we are going to cover a bit of things, okay? We are going to discuss the entire garment journey. It's also a form of trying to help you see where you are on this entire process, right? So for me, what I've done is I classify the different stages to make a dress in 3 parts. There is the drafting phase, the joining phase, and then the closures and finishing phase. In technical terms, the drafting we would call the pattern drafting and testing phase. The joining is the garment construction side, like when you're doing the construction. The closures and finishing is, the finishing stage, like I would call it technically. So if you look at where we are in the journey, we are in the most important phase. It's one of the reasons I was emphasizing that it doesn't really matter if you don't have a sewing machine. You can do a lot of things with your sewing machine, no doubt. But if you can't cut, you can't do really so much. And so knowing how to cut a dress, knowing how to draft a design, knowing how to even put together ideas on paper and then draw it out and cut it out is the most important phase of the entire process, right? At this phase, you are drafting on your pattern paper and then you're cutting it on fabric and then you're cutting the lining, which is usually optional. But this is usually where it looks like or what it looks like at the drafting phase. So after you have done all these things, like now we have done, right? And we say, okay, now let's cut it on fabric. And you've cut it on fabric. You say, well, as for me, when I do my clothes, I want to add lining. So you cut the lining too, right? You have to now enter the joining phase or the construction phase. The construction phase is where you are preparing your lining, you are sewing your darts, and then you are attaching the lining to the fabric, and then you press. Pressing is ironing, right? So there are different things that you're going to do at this stage that we'll go into. But I just want you to have like a fair idea of where we are going into, and what you need to, understand about the entire process. The closures and the finish is when you finish. Okay, you finish the dress. How will we wear it? Like, you remember when we were talking about the beautiful, you designed this beautiful dress or this beautiful piece of clothing. How do we enter it? And the last thing that makes the entire dress extra beautiful is the finishing, how you're finishing beautifully, and that's where the final phase comes in. Now all these phases come with a lot of headaches, frustrations, and tiredness for a beginner, but that is not supposed to be the entire case. It's all part of the growth journey. You feel that it's a mixture. I think it's a mixture of both. You become excited that, hey, I've been able to draft a dress. Okay, now let me be able to draft a sleeve. Once you've done that and you join a zip, you finished. But then that is the beginning. Next time you can do your different styles. You are adding gadgets. You are adding different things, right? Now the next thing is, at this stage, what are some of the things you are thinking of, right? At this stage, at the drafting phase, you are dividing measurements. I'm sure you all know these ones. When I share these videos, I just want you to watch it with a curious eye, not necessarily because you are going to do it or feel the pressure that you're going to do it, but like just open your mind and watch it like how you'd watch a movie and look at how they are doing each step of the way. Usually I advise students to watch the videos without the sound, like just when you're watching 10 of the sound, and watch how all these phases come out in a dress, in a garment construction phase. So after you are done, the silhouette is how the dress fits on your body. I'll show you some pictures of it as we go along. But like I've said already, I'm sure by the drafting phase, you have a good idea of what your thought process is. So in the joining phase is where you are doing the sewing mostly, where after you are fitting, you are checking it. So that's when you are deciding if you have to adjust or do some quick alterations. And then of course, different fabric settings is where, for example, you have like a brocade a brocade you are using for a dress, but then you want to add some teal or some net to it. There are two types of fabric, so you might have to adjust your machine. Now let's go back into where we are today. Today, we are still at the cutting and drafting phase, and we are slowly moving into the joining phase. So like I said, this is not necessarily, if you have like a sewing machine at home, you can, try your hands on some of the, joining phase. If you don't, you can watch the videos and understand what it looks like. And then if you really want to make a dress, but you don't have a sewing machine, usually what I tell students is, if you have like an idea is like one of those tellers who come around, who go around the neighborhood, right? You can call one of them and then ask them to join for you per phase and see how that looks like. And then when you get your own machine, you can start with it. But it's just like a step-by-step process in seeing how these things look like. Now, let's talk about the concept of dresses. But at this stage, I want to hear from you, a quick check-in. How are you feeling? Are you excited about where we've come, how far we've come? Let me hear from you. For some else, you have to appreciate two things. Right?
Yes,
Please, can you see my
I can see.
So like I was talking about appreciating the body types, I put together a resource in the classroom that you'd seen. It's an article on the different body types. I'm sure most of us have heard about the different body types, but it's just like a refresher to understand how it looks like and how fundamentally the body types determine what kind of dresses would really make it look nice. And then today I'm also going to teach you about the use of what we call highlights and illusions in design. Now I have this saying that where attention goes, illusion follow. Now, what are optical illusions? Right, the word or a technical word for trick the eye. Now you ask me, why are we tricking the eye in dressmaking, or why are we tricking the eye in garment construction? Now you can see that different shapes and lines in a dress make it look a certain way. I'm sure most of you have seen the dress and they're like, there's something about this dress that makes it so nice, but you really can't pinpoint what it is. Or you think it's a sleeve, or you think it's something. There can be different reasons. But one of the things that people use, especially in fashion design, is the use of illusion. As you can see in my diagram, you see how that we are using lines to create an illusion and shapes, right? So on the horizontal line, you see that, it makes a person look wider. If you have different body shapes, you're going to use these different illusions to define the dress. So now, of how horizontal lines play in dresses, right? And I chose these pictures for two main reasons. The main reason is, look at the pattern in the fabric. I mean, not many people will teach you this, but that's what makes dresses extra beautiful, right? How you understand the fabric you are using, what has been designed in the fabric, the motifs and the patterns in the fabric, right? If you play with it, it actually elevates your dress, even if it's a simple dress or even if it's a beginner dress that you're making. So in all these dresses, these are dresses that you every beginner can make, right? So you can see that in horizontal lines, they are using, the skirt and the top. They are leaving, in the picture that we have below, we are actually leaving the waistline for you to see. So if you look at this dress, you see that, there's a break in where you see her body, right? So her upper waist is what you are seeing. That's the horizontal line illusion they are creating. If this person had a bigger tummy, you never know, because of how they have structured the dress, like a skirt and a top with the middle line or the waist line showing quite a bit. So it will give you this idea that, the person has a slim waist, right? Same for vertical. Vertical makes people look taller. So using the same fabric, you see how the person in the dress, just by the fabric, it makes the person look taller a bit. So you pair this with some heels, and it instantly makes you, look way taller than you actually are. And that's where, when you use your vertical lines, you get some of these effects. If you get, and then we have the divergent and then convergent. Divergent is, it is moving from, let's say, the shoulder towards the bottom in a way that is creating this illusion that, the person's upper body is small and then the hip is broad, right? or the hip side is broader. It's just creating this triangular look and feel for the dresses. So, like I said, you're using shapes and lines. Additional tips and hacks you can, include when you are making your clothes. So I put some of these fabric pieces together. Usually you'd see the wax print, but today I brought out some batik, tie and dye fabrics, right? If you're using horizontal lines, you have a fabric like this. It depends on how you turn it when you're cutting it on fabric, right? It can give you this horizontal look. Same for the vertical lines. You can fold it in a particular way, or arrange the dress in a particular way, or place your pattern on the fabric in a particular way, and you also achieve the vertical lines illusion that you're looking for. And then, of course, it's not always the body shape. Sometimes it's how you want the dress fit to look. If you are doing a jacket, for example, you might want to elevate the shoulder a bit. Of course, because, for example, that's a particular design you want, whether it fits your body shape or not. And these days, people are very creative. Some people go against their body types and make some beautiful clothes, and it still looks great. So, I mean, you can go as creative as you want. Then we have the divergence. So divergence, as you can see in the picture and at the top, right? You have where you can break this fabric like this. If you have a fabric that has the zebra-looking shape that Andriana was talking about, you can play with it and have a shape like this, done in your dresses. And then for dark colors, I think for most of us who love prints, designs, it will work very well with color blocking, and mix matching fabric colors like that. That way you are highlighting one and you are minimizing one. And then for diagonals as well, diagonals tend to make people look bigger. So I really love diagonals if they're like kimono, jacket, and it's on a small body. It looks it makes like a beautiful statement. We'll see how we can create some highlights. So you can create highlights with your upper body where you bring a lot of attention to your upper body. You can use the sleeves, you can use the neckline, you can even use the entire blouse line, right? The entire blouse of the top of the dress to create that, extra attention to the dress. So if you have such detailing on your blouse on the upper body, it tends to minimize attention on the person's lower body, right? For lower, so if you want to highlight the lower body, you can, define the waist a bit. You can do so by these, styles or these illusions, right? And then the hourglass shape. Most people, regardless of their body types, try to target this body type. I mean, it's $1 billion industry. So yes, most people can try to snatch the waist, try to add a few more fabrics or bulk or volume on the hip side to make it look bigger, right? And then also the length or the height extra tall or mixed. Just try to highlight the height of the person. Then you can also see for people who are tall who wants to seem a bit petite. Yeah, so as you can see, the use of volume and fit is crucial to the garment silhouette. So what I was talking about was garment silhouette. This stands in front of you, how the dress looks like on their body. That's the silhouette. So the silhouette for this dress is the drapey volume on the body, how it's hung. This is a fitted silhouette, as you can see for the skirt line. What are some of the details you see on these dresses that make them beautiful, that make the dresses beautiful? You can see for the first dress, it doesn't have a sleeve, right? It's starting from the bust line. That's the detail, and then the slit on the side, right? For the second dress, the sleeve, right? It's a simple, dress, right? But the sleeve is what is giving it the extra elevation in terms of look and then the feel, right? And then, of course, same for this one, right? This is like a combination of perhaps the first and the second, where it's an off shoulder, but then the detail is the ruffle in front, the ruffle around the off shoulder detail, right? So the point I was trying to make with this example was that you can create your detailing in any way that you can. You can make the neckline, you can focus on the bust, you can focus on the waist, you can focus on the hip, you can add things to the hemming side, the length, like there are different things you can do, right? And it's also another addition to how you want to elevate your dresses. You can add pockets, trimmings, color blocking, the fabric shine, so how the fabric looks when light hits it. All these are beautiful things. And how to use the motifs or the pattern. This example, you see this dress on the far right. You see how they managed to line up all the patterns. So when I say pattern, the designs on the fabric, they lined it all on the right, and then in the middle you see, that is there. Is that another? Yes, same for, so this, in the blue dress, the white trimmings on it, creating that V effect. Those are trimmings. You can do different things with your dresses, even if it's a simple dress. The point I'm trying to make it is from there that you can add on different skill sets and different designs to a basic dress or a basic whatever you're making. So now that we have seen some of the detailing in the dresses, yes, the chest gathers also makes the third, yes, make it so nice. I agree with you, Dorothy. So this is group 1's collation of the addresses. We are inching closer and closer to our work for this week, so please pay attention. So this is the designs from group 1. You can see the different detailing to it. Now, it's literally like opening your eyes to the detailing. In this one, you are seeing pleats at the hemline. This side, you are seeing like a ruffle all over the hemline for the black dress on the left. For the one on the top left, the yellow dress, they've cut out the motifs in the fabric and printed it on it. These are all simple dresses, but look at how the detailing is making it look very nice. We have some examples here as well that you can see. Thank you, and then I'll see you on WhatsApp.